Welcome back to my 5 favorite people. I hope you guys are doing absolutely amazing. Today we have a couple different things I want to go over, but it's mainly going to revolve around ULTY. If this is your guys' first time hearing anything about ULTY, you're going to want to hear this. Stick around. The video is not going to be too long. I'm going to talk about how much I made from ULTY. I've been holding it for over a month now. Tell you exactly how much I've lost from holding ULTY, the dividends, and also what I'm thinking about doing if I plan on selling or keeping my shares of ULTY. If you guys like content like this, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. But without too much more talking, let's go ahead and hop straight into the video. So, I can tell you guys, if you are new to the channel, we do usually a daily portfolio update. As you guys can see, the market is open. We are currently up $428.36, 1.5%. If we were to check the actual month, I think I hit a little milestone. For the 1 month, you guys can see I am actually in the $1,000. I'm actually finally up for the first time, up $1,000. I think it's pretty cool. I'm only $900 away from having a $30,000 portfolio. If we take a look with my account with margin, actually, if you guys don't know what margin is, it's pretty much Robinhood giving you their money to actually spend. You do have to pay it back. Kind of consider it as like a loan. You guys can see I'm using $9,650 in margin, and I have equity for $29,000. Today's video is going to be about ULTY though. A lot of times when people are talking about the income ETFs, ULTY gets brought up a lot. And so far today, you know, ULTY's doing pretty steady. It's actually getting close to my actual average cost, which means, as you guys can see, my total return is only down $112. Now, I have been holding ULTY since, if I pull up my chart, I think it's October or August 17th. That was my first buy. It was a $10 buy, nothing too crazy, but my real big buy was right around this time. You guys can see $500 and a $400 buy. So I've been holding ULTY for now over a month and about a week, so about 40 days or so I've been holding ULTY. And so far holding ULTY, what I have received has been pretty amazing. So I'm going to show you guys also what my dividends have been like holding ULTY. As you guys can see, that was my total share. I was down total, oh, look at that. We're down less than $100. As of today, we're up $169. Total market value is $19,000 and $19,049.95. Average cost is $5.55. We have 3,454 shares. Portfolio diversity is 50%. So if I take a look over here at my spreadsheet, I'm going to show you guys. This was August 22nd, 2025. ULTY paid out amount per share of 10 cents per share for the dividends. I was holding 154 shares and 154 shares pretty much. It paid me out $15.45, which I think is crazy. I was only holding like a couple $100 and paid me $15 for holding it. That following week, I did not add any more shares. All I did was just reinvest the $15 and bought more shares of ULTY. My shares ended up going up to 157 shares. It paid out at $9.4. I received $14.95. You can tell it went down from here because the amount per share, the dividend amount, actually dropped. And then I actually ended up dropping again. I actually dripped my shares, bought some more, but I actually added in my own shares, my own money, and my own equity. The dividend price was 9 cents even. It was a total share of 715. I ended up getting paid $64.36. Keep in mind, these are weekly paying dividends. So every single week I'm receiving a dividend from ULTY. I personally prefer the 52-week compounding effect over the 12-month compounding effect because you guys just get more of that big snowball effect. Yeah, you won't really notice huge difference until like month 15, month 20. But once you guys hit that, you'll start noticing that your income is doubling, tripling. Whenever you guys get into like the 5-6 years of snowballing, it's insane. And I have a chart on this video. I want to show you guys what it can look like if you're just investing just $10,000 yearly, how your money can actually double, triple, and almost make you a multi-millionaire at the age of 20 years old. All right, sorry, in 20 years, not the age of 20. If you were starting at 1 year old, then you did all this to 20, yeah, you would be a multi-millionaire by the age of 20. To get back into it, so September 12th, it paid out 9 cents too. I was holding 2,326 shares. It paid a total amount of $215. And then on September 19th, I was holding 9.2. Look at this. All it did was just drip. So that $215 ended up just buying me about 30 shares or so. Picked up some more. It went up from $215 to $219. And then recently, October 3rd, ULTY paid out 9 cents one. You can see the dividend dropped just a little bit. It went from 9.2, 9.2, 9.1. Now holding a total shares of 3,397, paid out $310. So added all this together, over the past 6 dividend Over the past 6 dividends that I have received for the past 6 weeks, I have made a whopping total of $839.94. And then if you were to take account my total return from ULTY being down $113, so what we're going to do is we're going to take 839 minus 113. Our total return is $726. Now you're probably looking at this, you'd be like, oh, that's not really that much for holding $19,000 to the stock. I want you guys to keep in mind, if you only take these 3 out and you replace these 3 with my 3,000, it will be a lot more. I necessarily don't even really count these 3 because I didn't really have many shares coming in for ULTY. But you guys can see all it's going to do is keep compounding. I mean, we went from the small amount to the bigger amount to the bigger amount to even bigger amount. So if we were to take this and replace it into all of these spots, so if we were to take, let's just say we take 310 and then we add it into all of the spots down here. Let's say we take 310. It stayed the same. Boom. Now we've made from all the 6 weeks, if we just take the previous 6 weeks and take what we earned last week, now we have made $1,800 and total return is $1,700. But we simply don't have that much information to backtrack on. And who knows if the actual market stays the same like that. But so far, you guys can see the main thing is that we are in a positive total return. Now, I know a lot of people like to harp on the actual NAV erosion when it comes to ULTY and yield max funds. The NAV erosion has been pretty significant. You guys can see it just completely just degrades over time. If you don't know what NAV erosion is, it just stands for net asset value. You guys can see how it went from like this $9 and it just constantly just drops. And the reason why it's dropping all the time, this drop right here all the way up into April, they had to change their actual dividend paying fund. So you guys can see how there's like these big steep drops and then it kind of changed. Whenever they switched over to the weekly paying fund, it actually started to stabilize a little bit. But you guys can see these little drops right here. They have every single week is whenever ULTY pays out its dividend. And that's what a lot of people like to buy into ULTY. That's really with any income ETF that's like weekly paying or even monthly paying. A lot of people like to buy on the day that the dividend is announced because the stock has to drop because the percentage that it drops is pretty much what it actually pays out to its shareholders. So that's the dividends you guys receive. A lot of people like to buy on those days, and I am actually one of those. TSYY dropped hugely last week, ended up dropping more than 60 cents. So I ended up DCAing about my dollar cost average down, and that's pretty much what happens with ULTY. But what is happening is that the NAV is dropping too fast, and the value itself is not able to keep up. Yes, the dividends are being paid out pretty steadily. It's dropping just a little bit, but nothing too crazy, nothing to be alert of or anything like that. But what I think personally, and this is my personal outlook, what I think ULTY could do. Now, I know there's a lot of people that can have different things that you guys don't agree with me, but I think what ULTY could do to actually help stabilize this, number one, and a lot of people aren't going to like this, and I probably won't like it myself. I think dropping the yield would help a lot because dropping the yield means it doesn't have to pay out so much to shareholders, even though I know ULTY is just this huge ATM machine, and I'm not looking at ULTY for a growth fund, trust me. This is not a growth channel. Now, if you guys want growth, go search up the VOOs, SCHDs, stuff like that. This is a pure income play, and it's producing pure income. $310 every single week. You can't beat that. Without doing a single thing, I'm literally making money in my sleep, you guys. Like, it's insane. I showed you guys this video, this portfolio tracker that I've actually found, which is pretty cool. You guys can see, I mean, it's nothing too crazy, but monthly I'm making $3,400. Every week I'm making $807. Every single day, I'm making $115, and on the hour, I'm making $479 or $4.79. Yeah, you may say, "Oh, that's only $4. It's not even minimum wage." But you're also not thinking about whenever I'm showering, I'm making money. Whenever I'm sleeping, I'm literally making money. Whenever I'm getting a haircut, I'm making money. Whenever I'm trying to go outside and go barbecue, I'm making money. And that's why I love the effect of having a weekly paying fund, not just weekly paying, but income ETFs. They produce weekly, they compound weekly. Long term, you guys are going to see the growth in your portfolio just go like crazy. Yes, I will say the net asset value will sometimes drop, but the thing is that you guys are not in it for growth. You're in it for income. So your income should be overseeing the growth. And if it's not, you need to jump ships. Don't marry your, I always tell you guys, don't marry your bags. Like, for example, MSTY. MSTY was performing very bad like a couple weeks ago. It was down like almost 20% in a single day. MSTY itself is not a bad fund, but I'm saying don't marry your bags. If you know the fund itself is going to keep dropping, they don't have any good news coming out, reevaluate, reallocate your funds, go somewhere else. You don't have to stick to one singular fund. You guys are not the fund managers. You don't have to just stay in one singular thing. Yeah, you may take a little tax break selling your shares and stuff like that, but would you rather take a tax break and have to pay a tax penalty than be down 30% on your total return? No, because then you're paying double. You're paying your taxes and you're paying the total return that you're down. You don't want that. So where I'm going with this is that I think that ULTY could drop the overall yield and it'll be fine, get a nice little stable dividend payment coming out. But, I would love for it to stay the same. If they can just find a way to stabilize this NAV and keep the dividends the same, I will be a happy camper, because what I want ULTY to be something that I can look at for the next 5 to 10 years and say, hey, ULTY itself, maybe it's not the safest play, but it's going to be risky. It's going to perform well, but guaranteed you're going to get those good dividend payments, and you don't really have to worry about your overall portfolio value going down so much. Like, I don't want to see ULTY going into the $4 range. I want to see it stay above this $5.40, maybe even hover around that $6 and keep that stable dividend payment. I think all investors would be pretty happy with that. But so far, ULTY's been performing pretty well for me. I have a total portfolio value of $19,000. I'm down less than a percentage. My average cost is pretty good. Like I showed you guys, I actually had my first buy back in August 17th. So you guys can see, August 17th, I actually went and purchased right here. So it was $5.90. And what I've done is I've actually DCA'd my entire way down. Meaning, if you guys don't know what DCA means, I dollar cost average. You can see my average cost. Dollar cost average down to $5.55. So I brought it from $5.90 all the way down to $5.55. And I want to continue doing that. It's like, for example, whenever it does pay out, like how it dropped to $5.44. If I would have bought it around this time, it could have brought my share price to about $5.54, $5.53. And just continue doing it that way. That way that my total return itself isn't being gradually affected. I'm still able to maintain a good total return while also increasing my dividend payments by dripping and also adding more shares. As you guys do know, if you have been watching my channel, I do have an actual share goal for ULTY. My share goal is 7,500 shares. Currently, right now, ULTY is paying me $1,250 every single month, which is amazing. You can see here is my actual spreadsheet. If you guys want the spreadsheet, I do have a video on my channel. Go ahead and check out. It should be the ULTY and TSYY spreadsheet. You guys can go on there, make a copy, go ahead and fill all this stuff out. It's pretty cool. I did not create this, but someone was getting it out for free, and I just used it because they're getting it for free. Return on investment on ULTY, you can see it says about 86%. Return, you can see ROI today is down less than 0.5% or more than 0.5%, but my return on investment after dividends is up almost 4%, which is very good. My total share price for what I want my goal to be for ULTY, and this is just saying because I do tell you guys I want my portfolio value, what I want it to be at, and how much I want to be making per month on dividends. This, you guys can see, it's pretty cool. But my share goal is 7,500 shares. That means I need to pick up another 4,102 shares. I want to need another $22,643. And my predicted dividend, how much I will make per month, not per week, will be $2,700. And $2,700 would actually cover all of my monthly expenses. But that is for one singular ticker. We're not even looking for all these other ones today. We're just talking about ULTY. But I want to show you guys pretty much the compounding effect of where you guys can actually go with ULTY. It's insane. This website right here, what I have is called the Dividend Tracker, and it has some pretty insane news on here. So you guys can actually search up ULTY. Come over here, open it up. It has some pretty cool stuff on here. You guys can see my cost basis, my day gain, my total gain, which is pretty good, my market value, average share cost. I have drip enabled. All it is that you guys can manually put in some of your information, and it'll give you some pretty crazy information. Go over here to dividends. You guys can see exactly how much I'm making and how much I'm predicted to make. So annually, how much I'm supposed to make from ULTY is going to be $22,810. Every single quarter, I should be making about $5,700. Every month, I should be making about $1,900. Now, it's a little skewed because I just updated it yesterday, so it has to get my portfolio going and stuff. But once it does, this is about right. I mean, from the portfolio that I put, I said that I'll make about $1,200. So it's a little off, but we'll fix it. We'll get it running pretty smoothly. Every single week, you can see I'm making about $438. Daily, I'm making $62 from ULTY, and hourly, I'm making $2.06 or $2.60. Last dividend that was declared is about 9 cents. You can see the date and stuff. Oh, this is declaration. This is actually when ULTY was released 214 days ago. The ex-dividend date was 4 days ago, and then payment date was 3 days ago. Pretty cool annual dividend. I just think this website has some pretty cool information. I think you guys should definitely end up checking out. You can see the yield. It's slowly dropping, but it's also like, oh, okay, so it's dropping from April. So the dividend yield itself was going up, but then this is when they switched that weekly paying, and then this is when it like slowly drops. You can see the payment drops out and the yield. This is what I'm telling you guys. If they can find a way to stabilize this yield and keep the dividend payments the same, we're going to be looking very spiffy. Very, 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 very spiffy.